Hello and welcome to Fantasy Football's Anonymous, the only podcast that has a zero success rate of getting people free from their addiction to fantasy football. I'm your host, Andrew, joined by my cousin, your co-host, Craig White. And today, Craig, I have a question for you.
What's up? Hit me.
If you just became the owner of the Tennessee Titans and they told you can pick any one offensive player and any one defensive player from the entire NFL and add them to your current roster, what two players do you pick?
Wow, that's a great question. All right, so I like to stay young. You want a cornerstone piece that like isn't just going to help you for the next few years, but like long term.
Of course. Of course.
Um, I mean, quarterback is the most important piece. So you could make an argument for like a Patrick Mahomes.
This
I
is
don't
really
know.
going to be a test of how big of a Cam Ward believer you are.
Yeah, for real. I like Cam Ward. I'm a big believer. I don't think if you're telling me I can have anyone in the league, I can afford it. I don't think I'm saying Cam Ward. Um, I think I'd go. There's some running backs and receivers that are tempting, but I think you have to go quarterback. Like if you're choosing offensive,
I agree that that's what you should do.
yeah. So I know you're going Baker Mayfield. I think I'm gonna go probably Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the most proven.
He's been to 5 Super Bowls now in seven
It's
or eight,
ridiculous.
7 years or whatever. Yeah, I think that's the right call. So yeah, and he has shown that even without elite weapons around him, he can find a way to keep the offense moving. So I think that's good. What about one defense player? And it's your current roster. So you have the current Titans defense. You can pick any one player. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, you're not like, it's not like a fantasy
Oh,
draft that you're starting over. It's your current roster.
then that makes me almost want to change my first pick because I'm
That,
like,
oh, so
I
you
think,
would keep Cam Ward and pick Jamar Chase and give you Jamar Chase?
I mean, kind of like, yes, I think Mahomes wins us stuff, but then he has Calvin Ridley who can't catch the ball, you know? Um, I mean, I like Alec Ayaminer, like we can keep talking about him. But I guess if we're thinking current team, part of me does want to say Jamar Chase or Malik Neighbors because he's got a
Wow.
receiver to throw to.
You are all in on Cam Ward.
Absolutely. Or get us Derek back, bring I'm just kidding.
Forget
He's had
youth.
3
Give me the
fumbles.
31-year-old running back who fumbles. Unbelievable. All right, what one defensive player do you add to your current Tennessee Titans?
Uh, Pat Surtain sounds pretty tempting. Um, we could get Vita Vea from y'all because he can stop the tush push.
Yep.
Um,
Speaking of the tush push, we're playing the Eagles this week, and we
I know.
brought back big boy Watson from Florida, 450 pounds. We added him to our practice squad. So we're going to have 450 pounds and then Vita Vea 350, 800 pounds in the A gap. I want to see the tush push so bad. Like, I don't like the tush push. It's like kind of annoying to watch. Like, I like the idea of like you have something that's so dominant you can just kind of do over and over again, but it's like kind of a weird, ugly play. I'm excited for it this year. I mean, this week. I really want to see what happens with the Bucks. Okay, so are you going corner or are you going Vita Vea? Who do you pick? And
I
remember, you're the owner. You want a young player.
I know. And
Vita Vea's 30, I think.
it's also like Micah Parsons is tempting. He's so disruptive. Um, TJ Watt. Like there's so many good
Yeah.
defenders to choose. I think I'm going so if it's the current roster that we have, I'm going Vita Vea. We need somebody that can stop up the middle.
The best nose tackle. I
Yeah,
mean, maybe Dexter Lawrence, but
I
but
think I'm going Vita, but I don't know. Who are you going with for the
so you're
Bucks?
going Malik Neighbors and Vita Vea. That's the two players you add to the current Titans team, if you could add anyone.
It sounds pretty crazy. Seems like there's a lot of better picks, but that's the
Uh,
first two that come to mind.
okay. So I would agree quarterback's most important. And I don't think Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in the NFL, and I think the best quarterback wins Super Bowls. But
So
I would
so logically, you're saying Baker can't win you a Super Bowl.
no. I'm saying the top 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks are the quarterbacks who, regardless of team makeup, regardless of other things, they kind of find a way to be in that conversation every year. Um, but I think I would probably pick Brock Bowers for the offense. Tight
Oh,
end is, I mean, we have a good offensive line, great wide receivers, great running backs. I love Baker Mayfield. I couldn't pick to remove Baker Mayfield. Sasha, I think there's someone at the door. Can you check that? My thought, tight ends have long careers. He's 22. He's going to be here for 13 years, 14 years still. And it's probably our weakest offensive position. And then defense, I'd probably go Micah Parsons. I think
Yep.
he's the best young pass rusher, young-ish. I would have loved for the Bucks to have traded two first and a quality player for him. I think that would have been a huge game changer for us. So
Did you
yeah.
see what Jerry said today about Micah?
No, what do you say?
I need to find the exact quote so I don't get it wrong, but he was talking about because the Cowboys play the Packers this week, so there's that matchup, and he so he says some plays it looks beautiful, but then other plays, especially running plays, you wish you had a different formation. To be trite, we lost games with Micah, and then he went on to say there was another quote, something about how he didn't win them a Super Bowl. So like basically, is he really even that good?
No comment on on
Yep.
that. I
Mm.
think there's three of those people in the world. It's Miles Garrett, Micah Parsons. Might be just those two. TJ Watt's really, really, really good. But like
Yep.
you're talking about humans on the entire planet who can do what those two or three. Like literally
Hmm.
every play, if Micah's not doubled, he wrecks games. And even if he is doubled, he wrecks games. So yeah, I would love to have Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
All right. So, what we're gonna at what point in the season do you decide in a dynasty league, sell off all of my old players and tank for the rest of the year, or I'm better than I thought. Let's go trade for the you know Devonte Adams of the world, the 30-something-year-old wide receivers, or the Derrick Henrys, the 31-year-old running backs, because this is my year. What week do you make those decisions? Are you a week one overreactor, or are you a week 10? You're 3-7, and you're like, there's still technically a chance that I could make the playoffs. Which one are you?
I'm more of a week one, week two overreactor.
Okay.
Um, And it's funny you're asking this because this was something I wanted to talk about. There's a team that is really exciting me right now that I've got that I think I told you about this league a few years ago. I was in it and I had like the best team in the league. Like I was just so pumped with some trades that I had made and I was like, I just don't see how I lose. And I never won a championship. It was like, and I know you've probably been in some of those leagues too where your team is bulletproof and you never win a championship. So finally got to a point where I was like, I lost again, like first round of playoffs and I was like, all of my players now are old because I sold out to like win
Hmm.
and it didn't pay off. And so then I sold everyone. I think we talked to Shaq last week and, he talked about that trade where I traded a bunch of these old guys um, to him for draft picks. And then I
Yeah.
started the rebuild. And anyway, fast forward week one, I'm thinking to myself with this team last year I had, or this rookie draft, I had the number one overall pick because my team was the worst team in the league last year for a rebuild. Week one, I'm thinking I'm
Did you
gonna
pick Ward or Genty in that league?
I had the 101. I traded it. I traded Genti essentially for Puka Nakua and I think it was a second. And that right there, let me tell you right now, that skyrocketed my team faster than I would have ever believed. Because get this, I go from having the first overall pick, week one, I'm thinking I'm still tanking. Most likely, I've got to rebuild. Right? I beat a guy that I shouldn't have. My players went off. I got lucky. It was wild. Next thing I know, I'm like, wait a second. Here's some guys that I hit on. I had a ton of draft picks. I just traded, a bunch of players for second, third rounds. I
Mm,
had Tyler Warren, who hit,
that's a
and
good
I
hit.
and I took him at the 109.
Okay.
I made I had a bunch of first round picks that I traded up for. I traded away Caleb Williams. That may have been dumb, but with that, I ended up getting Amari and Hampton. So I've got Hampton. I got Cam Ward. Found a way to get him still. So I got Ward. I got Hampton. I got Puka. I just made a trade yesterday for Scatabo. So I've got Ward, Hampton, Scatabo,
How much did
Puka.
you pay for Scatabo?
All right, so let's see if I overpaid. I traded Loveland, so I also took Loveland in the draft. I took Loveland and Warren. Warren hit. I decided let me sell now Loveland to a Bears fan, so I traded him to a Bears fan. I traded Loveland in a third for Scatabo. Um,
Is there any kind of tight end premium?
it is a tight end premium, but my thought is Scatabo. He had a good week, but we don't know yet, and I feel like he's gonna take off, and I would rather get him now before he
I think
truly
he
takes
has a
off.
Chase Brown type season from last year, if I had to guess. Chase Brown finishes like a low end RB1 after not really being like the lead back at the start of the year. That would be my guess for
Yep.
Scatabo at the end of this year.
Yep, I would agree. So got him. I also have Lad McConkey. I think I left that part out. Tucker Craft as well.
It's
Um,
pretty. Did you end up making that Hawkinson for Kraft trade?
I did. No, I did not. That league I
Okay.
tried to. I did not. The guy said no, and I'm actually glad because Hawkinson looked better the next game, and I think I need to stop overreacting. I need to wait it out a little
Yeah.
bit.
Don't we
But
all?
yeah, and then I picked up Wentz off of waiver wires. So he's my super flex. Not good at quarterback, but to be the worst in the league and thinking I had quite a few more years of rebuilding that needed to
Hmm.
happen, but then you hit on a few guys, and I also have Alec Ayumana, which we can
Yeah.
keep talking about. But yeah,
When you hit on the draft picks, it definitely is. It's a game changer for sure.
and
All
trading
right.
Genty for Puka, I was nervous about that in the moment,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling good about it now.
Yeah. I agree. Puka is he's like probably close to the wide receiver. Like he's a top three wide receiver in Dynasty, and he's pretty young, tied to Matthew Stafford, John McVay. Longer career probably than Genty as long as he doesn't get hurt. I like that. All right. So how many trade offers do you have sitting in your queue right now that have been sent to you across your 14 leagues?
I've got quite a few. And quite a few of those are from you. Um, I've got like some leagues, 4 trades sitting there, and 4 of those are you, or 3 of those are you.
No, no. All
um,
from Eka Buka.
yeah, exactly. Actually, I don't even know if you have any of those sitting out there anymore. Um,
Oh man. When I offered
it's
my whole team and you said no, I kind of gave up hope.
yeah, there's still a chance. So I'm in 14 leagues, and I every week, Lisa can vouch for this, but pretty much every week I'm going 7-7. I'm winning 7, I'm losing 7.
Okay.
And it keeps alternating the teams that are winning. So I'm basically 2-1 in every league, or 1-2.
Or 1 and 2. Interesting.
Yep. So not great. I'd say I've got about 10 to 15 trades sitting out there right now.
Okay.
How
I
about
think
you?
I'm 10-5 across my 5 leagues right now.
Overall record? Okay, I should
Yeah.
look at my overall record. That's a good idea.
So a 2-1 average. Um, and
That's
I've got
great.
one trade I want to ask you about. I was offered. There's 2 trades for quarterbacks. One, I was offered Jaden Daniels for Jalen Hurts and Derrick Henry. So I'd be giving up Hurts and Henry, and I'd be getting Jaden Daniels.
Which league is this?
This is the Dynasty League.
Okay. I
Now
mean
you're feeling
that's
competitive, and you want me to say no because it's in league. No, but
no, no, no. I
what are
I
your
mean
thoughts on that trade?
I I think it's tempting. I will say Jaden Daniels is a top name, but I'm still nervous of the RG3 thing. Like,
I don't disagree.
and he's injury prone, and I think I'd be nervous, but it does get you younger. So it's like, and it's a gamble. It's one of those things where it's either going to pay off and you're going to be like,
Yeah,
wow, I dominated this trade, or you're going to lose bad, and
yeah,
he's out of the league in 2 years.
yeah.
Um,
Losing Derrick Henry isn't a hard sell for me. I don't know. I'm a contender in that league, but I don't know if he's there next year, and he's not a necessity necessarily for me. It's just someone who, for the last couple years, I feel like has been overvalued, kind of. And I'm like, without the tush push, he's like a quarterback too. But just
yeah,
because of that play alone and AJ Brown, he's a top 5 quarterback. And so that's why I've
yeah,
always been like, if they take that out or something changes, I haven't liked that. But he just consistently scores more points than I expect him to. So I agree. I think I don't own Jana Daniels in any leagues, so part of me wants to own him in a league. And it does make a competitor better. I feel like he goes from, the quarterback bump in week to weekly scoring isn't huge necessarily. But he gets Derrick Henry then to throw in one of his flex spots. So
yeah.
another trade I was offered was I get Joe Burrow and I send Jordan Love in a second. And it's a team where I have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
That's pretty fun. Stacking it.
So I he's kind of my quarterback 3, Jordan Love. I have Brock Purdy and Hurts in this league. This is a different league. Um, this is the other dynasty league we're in. But
Okay.
my thought is I, I'm tempted to accept it, mostly for the having the entire Bengals offense come next season.
That would be fun.
Yeah. What would you do? What are your thoughts?
I'm pulling up your team right now in that league. You're 3-0 in there, Jordan. Oh wow, and Jordan Love's on your bench, so you don't need
Yeah.
you don't need Burrow right now. I mean, that's actually solid because you don't need Love, so you might as well turn it into somebody that you could start next year.
Yeah. He would be my
Um,
starter next year with a
and then you
killer
said
stack.
you're giving up a second next year.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's solid. Is that sitting out there right now? Like you could hit accept?
I could.
Wow. I think that's a really solid deal.
I think so too. I'm pretty close to accepting it. I wanted to talk about it on here.
I
I
need
have other
I'll
I have other offers that have been sent, but that are kind of like most of them were trash offers that wouldn't be worth bringing up. But these were the two that I was like, those are big names, and
I mean, I'd sit here and do a trade with you right now because looking at my team in that league, I wouldn't mind Jordan Love. Like, I think he starts for me in that league.
I've been sending you
Um,
some trades in that league.
let's see, I've got
That would be
two.
the league where I think I've sent you two over there right now.
Yes, none of them involve Jordan Love. Yeah, you're trying to get Trey McBride from me. Hey, you're like, hey, I got him from you one time. I'll get him from you again.
I have Trey McBride in three of my leagues, and so I'm like, let's just collect him in all of them. So
Yep.
I'm a he's my dynasty tight end one. Like I think Bowers is a better player, but opportunity,
Yeah.
consistency.
If we were gonna sit here, because this is our next topic, but like, what's the worst trade you've ever done?
Ooh,
I, I, it's not my worst, but it's up there trading you Trey McBride because
God,
I knew he was gonna be a stud and I had him, but I felt like I was in that league. I think I was in contender mode, and I was like Travis, like can just go off,
you
and
had
you
Mahomes, and you got the stack with Kelsey.
it was just too tempting. I should have never done that though.
Yes. I'll tell you, that was one that kept me up was Trey McBride and Michael Mayer both got released in that dynasty league. And I put in a waiver request for Michael Mayer and I got him. And I thought this was before they drafted Brock Bowers. This was, year before. And I was like, this is huge. And I dropped this was before we had Fab. So I was the lowest on the waiver pool. And I was like, do I waste a waiver pool for McBride? I'm not even going to get him. And I didn't put it in and nobody put him in waivers. And you added him right after waivers cleared for him. And I was like, if I had just put it in, I would have had Trey McBride too. I was very upset.
That yeah, that would have been insane because then you could have had him, and I think you gave me like a second or something plus Travis or a first. I don't remember what it was. I'm
I don't
looking back
remember.
at I'm looking back at our trade history to see if I can see, but
I think I gave you let's see. I traded you a second, a third, Travis Kelsey for Trey McBride and Jalen Wright.
that's right. Yep, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at it right now. You're so right. I didn't realize I picked him up from free agency.
Yep.
So that's right because someone dropped him
That was
randomly.
as a rookie, remember he was like he had however many games into the season, 4 or 5 catches, was playing no snaps. But like you never know. Those are the players who 2 years later, I was high on both of them, Michael Mayer and Trey McBride coming out. I probably
Yep,
would have put Mayer, not knowing they were going to draft Brock Bowers, higher than him. So
yep.
pretty bummed when they picked
I
Bowers.
had Mayer in so many leagues. I thought like this is going to be the next guy,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
that was a disappointment.
All right.
Hmm.
So are there any other trades that you're mulling over right now or that you're trying to decide if you're going to accept or not?
All right, so here's one. So that league that I just told you about, where I had the number one overall pick, turned it into Puka, turned Caleb Williams
Hmm.
into Cam Ward, Marion Hampton. Um, my friend Shaq is trying to trade. He wants Hampton and McConkey from me, and I'm like, okay, my team is now 2-1. So I start off the year thinking I'm going to tank, or not
Hmm.
necessarily tank, but I'm going to have a good draft pick. I'm 2-1 now, and this week I'm projected with my new lineup. I'm projected to win by like 30 points, which is just crazy.
Wow.
And so part of me is like, you asked the question earlier, when do you start getting guys to help you win now? And I think I'm in the middle of both. I'm curious what your thoughts are on what I should do because I'm like, my team is young, like Puka, Ward, Hampton, McConkey, Scatabo. Everyone's still very young, but also good enough to help me contend right now. Maybe not Cam Ward right now, but Shaq wants Hampton and McConkey from me, and
What's he
this is his
offering?
this is his offer right now. We spoke on the phone right before this, but he's offering ETN, Baker Mayfield, because I need a quarterback. Right now I've got Ward and Wentz. A 2028 first and a 2027 second. So basically a first, a second, ETN and Baker for Hampton and McConkey. I don't see how I accept that
Yeah.
because those are two young possible
Yeah.
cornerstone pieces.
Yeah, I agree.
So his argument was it gives me a top 10 quarterback in Baker that will be a long term asset with a low end RB1. My thought is ETN might help me a few more games, but when do they start going to Bashal, Tootin, or like someone else?
I would agree completely. I would agree completely. Nope.
Okay. What
That's a hard pass.
what about you? What's another trade that you're looking at like possibly accepting?
I don't have a ton of other sitting offers. Um, right now. Those are pretty much the only offers sitting right now. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I say you accept that Jordan Love right here.
Yeah, I
Although,
kind of just countered a fourth. I got greedy and I just countered. See if I can. I don't have any players in that team like you have really deep benches, and I have like 8 roster spots that I just don't even have any players in because I just don't have. I'm
mm-mm,
very top heavy in that league, so we will see. All right, who are the people you claimed on waivers this week?
not many.
Did you
Let
get
me
Trey
see.
Tucker in any leagues?
I did pick up Trey Tucker in a league, and that's the issue with 14 leagues is now I'm trying to remember which league that was I picked him up in.
The week before he ran 90% of the routes and had 8 targets. So I think 3 touchdowns is obviously a huge blip and not consistent, but
Insane.
I think the usage points to him being possibly a wide receiver 3 the rest of the season. Trey Benson, did you get him in any redraft leagues?
I made claims, did not get him in any.
I think I got him in one league. I didn't get Trey Tucker in any leagues. Cam Scatabo, did you get him in any leagues?
He was not a free agent
In any
in
redraft
just
leagues?
about any. Actually, no. ESPN, my ESPN league, I'm pulling it up right now. I didn't. It's tough because some of the leagues I'm in, it's very small roster, and so you're kind of nervous with who you would be dropping.
Yeah.
Um, I did pick up this week. I don't know. I'm curious your thoughts on him, but Woody Marks, I picked him up in my ESPN league,
I think that's a good pick. Good pickup for sure.
and I'm starting him this week. I've got so here's my lineup this week, and this is a redraft league. Um, my quarterback was Joe Burrow. Obviously, he's on the IR, and then I had Cam Ward, and right now Cam Ward's just not doing what I need. So I picked up Jackson Dart to start this week. So Jackson Dart was a waiver wire. Woody Marks was a waiver wire, and I'm starting both of them.
Desperation in week 4 already.
I know.
No better quarterback options. This is a redraft league at one quarterback, and Jackson Dart's your best option. Are you just like hoping for a 4 touchdown coming out party type game?
Yeah, so here's my other options. I have CJ Stroud that I can pick up, but he plays the Titans. Not doing that. That's dumb.
Their offensive
G
line, they just don't look good.
No, Geno Smith was another option. Um,
Who's
don't
he playing
don't
to?
trust him. They're playing Chicago, but I
Okay.
just don't know. Then you got Trevor Lawrence available, Bryce Young, Tua, Michael Penix, Carson Wentz. It's like there's other options, but I feel like Jackson Dart has the highest upside with having Malik Neighbors, Wandell Robinson, Scatavo. He's got weapons, and you saw we've seen what Russ put up like just 2 weeks ago. Like he hasn't won them a game, but
But
he's
this
not
is
as
also a
mobile.
Super Bowl winning quarterback, possible Hall of Famer.
Did you see what they said after the
What?
Thursday night game last night?
No.
After the game, Richard Sherman was on there, Tony Gonzalez, all those
Yeah.
guys, and they just randomly after the game were talking about the Giants and like the changes at quarterback and everything. And so Sherman's there, and the host, I forget her name, she's talking to Tony and Sherman, and she asked something about Russell Wilson no longer being the starter, and Tony was like, I hate to say it because I love Russ, but he was like, I think he's playing himself out of the Hall of Fame. He's like,
Mm,
he leaves Seattle, and every team he's gone to has not been good. Denver,
mm,
Pittsburgh, and now the Giants. He's already benched in its week 4. And
mm.
then Richard Sherman, who played with him, starts talking
Who's
about it.
who's not a huge fan of him, but
Yeah, and he starts talking about how Legion of Boom. He had Legion of Boom in Seattle, and he doesn't
yeah,
have that now. And look at him.
yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think he's playing his way out of the Hall of Fame." So, just an interesting thought. Like you mentioned it a second ago and said possible Hall of Famer, but I don't know. He had Pete Carroll. He had Marshawn Lynch. He had a lot of stuff around him.
You're not wrong. You're not
So,
wrong.
I think Jackson Dart, though, I think he's very mobile. I think I like
And
the
there's
upside.
no better flex options than Woody Marks in their entire.
Well,
That is
here's the other. So okay, so in my roster, I can start Woody Marks, or I can start Bill, Krosky Merritt, or I can start R.J. Harvey, who hasn't looked good, and that was just a bad draft because I
you
thought R.J.
draft
Harvey
dynasty players in redraft leagues.
sometimes, yeah, but
Huh.
I'm usually good in this league. I thought R.J. Harvey was going to be a starter, and he's not. I do have Jameer Gibbs, so like that's solid. But yeah, the other running back options, because that's what I needed most, is Devin Singletary, Rico, Algier. Like, there's no good options.
Yeah.
So,
Who did you have like Aaron Jones and James Conner or something?
nope. I had Jameer Gibbs and RJ Harvey, but I've got Malik Neighbors, Drake London. I had Joe
Okay.
Burrow. Like, I had a solid team, but then Joe Burrow got hurt. I
Yeah.
also had Tajay Spears, but he's out. He'll come back soon, and I'm hoping that he takes our offense to the promised land.
Sounds good. All right. What's our bet for our game? We play each other this week in our dynasty league.
All right. If you win, you get to send me a trade. It's got to be a good trade
An even on keep trade cut trade
for
or
Amika.
better. Are you
I
sure you
just
want
don't.
to do that?
I just don't know how I trade him away.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna do that.
But if it's a trade where I feel like I'm winning, yes.
No, it still won't. It still won't matter.
All right. What are you
Okay.
thinking? What's fair?
I don't know. Let's talk about how did our picks do this past week? Did we do terrible? I'm pretty sure we picked the Browns to lose, and they didn't.
Okay. So we've got pull this up here.
Did you pick the Giants over the Chiefs?
We will find out. We will find out.
Yeah, that's a yes.
um.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Let's see here. How do I find my picks? View picks. Here we go. Here we go. Week 3. All right. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
We got.
Minnesota we
We
picked
chose
over
Buffalo.
Cincy. Yep.
We chose Atlanta. That was bad.
Oh, not even close.
Not even close. We chose Green Bay instead of Cleveland. We chose Houston instead of Jacksonville. That one was close by
Oh
a
my
touchdown.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
We chose Pittsburgh. We got that one right. They beat New England. We chose Cincinnati, and that did not turn out well. We chose the Rams against the Eagles. Not good. They lost. We chose Tampa over New York, and y'all just barely pulled that one out.
Oh my goodness.
Tennessee, we chose over the Colts. Can't believe you did that. Washington, we
Oh,
chose them over Vegas. That worked out. Which that one we locked in before we knew if Jaden Daniels was in or out. And we just said we're locking it in. Seattle, we chose them over New Orleans, which we got right. We chose the Chargers over the Broncos. We got that right. We chose the Cowboys over the Bears. We got that wrong. We chose 49ers over the Cardinals. We got that. We chose Baltimore and Detroit won that one. Got that one wrong. And then Kansas City and New York. The final game, we chose New York.
we. I don't know about we.
Nope, that
All
was
right.
bad.
All right. From now on, we need to be more accurate when we say who chose what.
Very true.
All right. We chose Seattle to beat Arizona.
Yep.
Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. What do you think?
All right. So
Ireland.
that's right. All right. I put Pittsburgh. That's like I made the picks before this on my own just to see what you thought
Yeah.
and see if we were aligned. But that's who I went with. I don't know. I feel like Aaron Rodgers over Wentz, right? But I don't know. It's tough.
I would probably lean Minnesota, which means it's going to be the Steelers because I picked the Giants over the Kansas City Chiefs
All
on Monday Night Football.
right. Which way should we lean? Should we lean your way this week or my way?
I don't know.
Because I think
Are
my way is
you?
not working out.
Yeah, I feel like both of our ways are not working out. Minnesota looked a lot better this week. I think Wirtz keeps them competitive. Last time Aaron Rodgers played that defense, Brian Flores gave him fits. So I think he's going to struggle.
Okay, I let's do this. When we can't decide on one, we alternate. So if we lean towards you on this one, the next pick that we can't
Okay,
decide on, we lean
deal,
my way.
deal,
All right,
deal.
so this one we're leaning your way. So you said Minnesota. Locked in.
Okay, all right. I'm definitely leaning the Saints this next one. So
Saints. All
yeah,
right,
you
well
can.
I'm leaning the Bills, so I'll sway us that way.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I just did that so when we get to the Titans game, I can lean us one way.
Smart yet.
What's the next one for you?
The Commanders in Atlanta.
Marcus Mariota, Michael Penix. Where do you lean?
The Falcons looked terrible last week. I don't know how we could even choose the Falcons. I don't care who's starting
The
for the Commanders.
NFL is a week-to-week league. What happened last week means nothing anymore
Isn't that
to a
crazy?
degree. Yeah. Jane Daniels is not playing this week.
Neither is Terry
We don't.
McLaurin.
Oof. Oof.
And there might be someone else out. I saw multiple notifications today of people
Oh
out for
man,
them. Yep.
that's tough. What do you
Yep.
think?
I'm going Commanders. I just don't feel confident in the Falcons, but it's funny because 2 weeks ago I thought they looked great. So,
All right, Commanders. It is.
okay.
What's the next one?
We can go either Cleveland, Detroit, or Tennessee and Houston.
We can just pick the Lions.
All right. Lions. I feel good about that.
Tennessee, Houston.
They're both
All right,
0-3.
Titans. Wow. I could see the Titans getting their first win. I could definitely see the Texans getting their first win. What do you think? Tell me what's the deciding factor? What's the X factor in this game?
All right, so Brian Callahan, I was at the game last week. We all booed him, including me. And I don't normally like booing, but I'm like something's got to change because can't we finally have a quarterback and our coach can't I don't know if you watched the game at all, but like he cannot manage the game and call plays and he's messing up rules and then press conferences after he's making it very obvious he doesn't know what he's doing. So we were all pretty upset. We thought that our owner was going to fire him this week. She didn't, but he did give over play calling duties. Let me tell you this right now. When I was at the game last week, I'm talking with my friend Tyler, and I told him, I said, if he will at least own up to his mistakes and be humble and say like, we're gonna try something different. I said I might give him a chance, but if he doesn't do that, I think I'm out on him, and it's like let's lose out so he gets fired or something, which sounds terrible, but like that's kind of where I was at. He on Monday, maybe Tuesday, I think it was Monday, he came out and said he's giving over play calling duties to Bo Hardigree and uh, Cam Ward came out and spoke highly of Brian Callahan, our head coach, and said like, he believes in his play calling, but he also thinks this is a great call. Like Bo Hardigree is going to be great at this. And Brian Callahan said like he needs to like get better at managing the game, and having to do all of this stuff has been too much. So he's giving it over. So I appreciate that. I'm curious because it's Bo Hardegree's first time calling plays with Cam Ward. It's gonna be a different look offense. I think. I I think maybe it's because I'm a Titans fan, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Titans. I think Cam and Ellick, their chemistry just keeps getting better and better. I think the Texans' offensive line is terrible. So is ours, though. You can make an argument that both are terrible. I don't know. I mean, I guess the Texans do have some weapons. I think I'm a
Cam
biased
Ward
Titans
is
fan.
good. Cam Ward. So here's my thought. Cam Ward's going to be running for his life from Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. Um, But I think having a new offensive coordinator or new play caller, teams don't have a good tendencies. The defense is going to be a little bit more, we don't know what's coming or what to handle. So I see that as a benefit to a degree. A lot of times when you see those coach changes, teams win just because we don't know what to expect. We don't have good film. The film that we have, they've self-scouted and it's going to be different. And so, yeah, I don't know. If you pick Titans, sounds good.
I'm a biased Titans fan, and
You
I'm
are.
because the last 3 weeks I've thought I for sure we had a chance to win. But this week I probably feel the most confident I have all season. So we're going Titans.
Houston gets their first one. That's my prediction.
All
uh,
right,
all
Carolina
right.
and New England.
New England, Carolina.
I chose New England,
Okay,
but I'm a
sounds
Mike
good.
Vrabel believer.
I know you
I
are.
think I think the Panthers had a great week last week, but I think that was one week.
Yeah. Okay.
And if
New England. New England it is.
we're coming up on controversy, I can feel it. I can tell that we are not going to agree with some of these.
Okay. What are we coming up on?
All right. The Giants, I think I've picked them every week. And this is where the controversy begins. They play the
There's no way the
Chargers.
Chargers win.
I think they beat them. I think they
Okay.
do. And
I'm glad that you think that.
I didn't realize that I was a Giants fan until for some reason I've picked them
No, you're
every
Malik
week.
Neighbors. You're just a Malik Neighbors fan. You're
But
so much of Malik.
I traded for Scatabo, and I'm starting Jackson Dart. So I'm pretty much all in on the Giants.
When did this happen?
And like
When did you become a
and
Giants fan?
and why? Well, I can tell you why. It's because my team is 0-3 and I've got nothing to watch.
They're like 1-2, right?
No, they're 0-3 as well. But at least they make it fun. They go to
Oh
shootouts with the
my,
Cowboys, and it's the most entertaining game of the week.
oh my goodness, that was an entertaining game. All right, well, yes, they are not going to win. They
All
lost
right,
to the Chiefs pretty easily. The Chiefs lost to the Chargers. Chargers are a top five team in the NFL. Giants are bottom five.
all right. So you're forcing me to choose the Chargers. This is what I'm
Sure.
hearing.
Yeah.
All right.
I should be forcing you to pick a few more.
If we're wrong,
If I'm wrong,
if you are wrong, we're gonna have to figure out some type of bet.
it would be fun to have some punishments.
All right.
When
If
you
here we go, here we go. If you're wrong
okay.
next week, I don't know if that you have any Titans gear, but next week you have to wear Titans gear.
If the Giants win, I throw Titans gear.
Yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense, but
All right, I will go to Goodwill and find something Tennessee Titans.
there we go.
Oh man. Okay, deal, deal. All right, and that brings us to the Bucks and the Eagles. If the Bucks win this game, you have to wear something Tampa Bay. Then,
Well, I chose the Bucks is the difference.
man, if we win this week without Luke Gedeke, Cody Mock, I don't know if no Mike Evans. I
You
don't know
got
if Godwin's
Wirfs.
playing.
You got Wirfs back, right?
Wirfs and Godwin's might be back this week, which I think is the only reason that I consider us having a chance. If we didn't have them, no offensive line, no wide receivers, but
Y'all beat them the last six out of the
fi-
last seven matchups.
five of the last six, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Listen, it, it, it's hard. They have a good defensive line, and if we have Wirfs back, then that's good. But we could be down our top three offensive linemen, so
Who?
that's
Okay,
tough.
as a Bucks fan, you're biased just like I'm a Titans fan, but like with your gut, do you think y'all can win this game?
I think we can win. If Godwin and Wirfs play, we can win. But I would be like pretty much all my friends who are Bucks fans are before Wirfs and Godwin were talked about coming back this week. We're like, hey, 3-1's great. Wait until the next week when we get some more players healthy. And we're playing a 3-0, went to the Super Bowl Eagles team, one of the deepest teams, and without half of our offense basically. So but I think we
If
can win.
if I gave you $100 and said you can put it on whichever team and you'll make whatever, I don't know what the payout would be, but let's just say you get it right,
Yeah,
you make 10
yeah,
times your money. We'll just say that.
yeah. Oh man, I like to. The only reason I bet against the Bucks is because I'm less sad if they lose. Then if I win $1,000, I'm like, oh sweet. If we win, I'm like, oh sweet. So
Yeah.
um, I mean, the Eagles are healthy and super deep team, so I would probably say that they should be favored in the game. I think they are favored too.
Yeah, so it's not about who should be favored, it's about who are we picking? Who are you telling me to
Oh
click on right now?
no, you pick. You get to pick this one.
All right,
I
well
I can't. I don't want to pick it. You
I
pick the
picked the
Bucks.
Bucks because you've beaten them the last five of the last six times. You can stop the tush push with the defensive tackles and stuff that you've got going on with Vita Vea and the guy that y'all are bringing,
Deshaun Watson or what?
or
What's his name?
Desmond Watson.
Desmond Watson. Desmond Watson. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you've got the recipe for it. I mean,
Just so you know,
Amika.
last year when we played them, they didn't have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith or Lane
Okay,
Johnson. So that's
okay,
like,
that's good to know. But still, I
yeah,
think the Eagles are beatable, and y'all are a good team. I think you're a
I
team
think
that,
if we were fully healthy, I would feel a lot more confident.
yeah.
If we play them in the playoffs, I'll feel a lot more confident. Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna stick with Bucks. I think that's an upset. Like I don't think everyone's picking y'all on them, and I like a few upsets. So all right, Rams Colts.
mm, is that 3-0 versus 2-1?
Yep,
It's a good game. What did you pick? What do you lean?
I chose Rams because I can't stand the Colts. So I'm probably not
Yeah,
the best. And we just got beat to bits by the Colts. So
I think the Colts team is a really good team. I think the Rams offense is going to be fine in that game. So I'd
we
probably lean for the Rams too.
we just played both of those teams the last 2 weeks, and I was at both games, and the Colts look like the better of the two, but it's all about matchups, and so it's
Yeah,
so hard to know.
that's
But
true.
I still think the Rams beat them. Like I just think the Colts,
We're not Colts
Jonathan
believers
Taylor,
yet. We're
yeah,
not Colts
Jonathan
believers yet.
Jonathan Taylor went off on us. I think that played a huge part, and
Jonathan Taylor looks like the old Jonathan Taylor, and I think it's because teams are actually like, hey, they can throw the ball. We can't just load up and sell out to stop the run.
it's so fun. I love Jonathan Taylor. I cannot stand the Colts, but he's so fun to
Yeah,
watch, and so that's been cool to see. And yeah, I think the reason they beat us so bad last week is Brian Callahan did a terrible job managing the game. I hate to say it. I'm still hopeful for him, but that Cam Ward threw a pick six first drive, and
yeah,
then
that was a
Jonathan
tough
Taylor
start.
goes off. Yeah, so I
That was a
think
tough start.
I think the Rams are the better team and the better coach team, obviously. So I think we go Rams, but I'm up
Okay,
to
sounds good.
if
Rams
okay.
sound works for me. Coming up on some really good games here.
Yeah, some tough ones. Okay, let's start with Jacksonville, San Francisco before we get to the tough ones. I chose 49ers. It's in San Francisco. I think Brock
Yeah,
Purdy's back.
it's really hard for the East Coast teams coming to the West Coast, so I'd agree.
Cool. All right, now we get into some tough matchups. Do you want to go? Let's do one of the harder ones. Baltimore, Kansas City.
On Baltimore.
That's who I chose. Kansas City
The
just doesn't look great yet.
Chiefs could be one. Chiefs could be 1-4. Are the Ravens 1-2?
Chiefs could be 1-3, right? This is week 4. The Ravens, that's true. Okay, here's what I will say. The Ravens have had the hardest schedule so far,
Yeah, for sure.
like of anyone. They've played what? The
Yeah.
Bills,
Yep.
who did they just play?
Browns and the Lions.
Okay,
So they beat
Browns
the
is not that
Browns.
tough.
No, and they lost by 1 to the Bills and 8 to the Lions.
Yeah, it's the crazy 3 weeks in a row. Bills,
Yeah.
Lions, Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, Chiefs had a tough start too. They played your
Bills.
team, the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so Baltimore, it's in Kansas City.
Yeah. Uh,
Cool.
Lamar wins. He gets a win on Mahomes.
Agreed.
Chiefs offense is still too hurt.
All right, let's go Chicago in Vegas.
I'd lean Chicago.
Same. I feel like Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and Real
They're going to
Madunze, DeAndre
Roma
Swift.
Dunze, go get him in dynasty leagues. He looks like their wide receiver one in a Ben Johnson offense.
Do I trade So, in speaking of Roma Dunze, I've got a trade. I think I may have talked about it last week, but there's a trade offer out there for me. Someone is wanting Marvin Harrison, and they're offering me Roma Dunze, and I'm leaning towards accepting because I feel
I've
like a Dunze.
You could probably get a second also, but or maybe even more just because of name value. At this point, Marvin Harrison is more name value. Even last night's game, he finished with 6 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown, but he doesn't look confident. He doesn't look, yeah, I have traded him in every league, and I drafted him as many leagues as I could. So
Yep, I
I
remember you
was
saying
wrong.
that.
So
Okay, well,
yeah,
I'll
see,
take on that.
counter, try to get a second or something else. But yeah,
Okay. All right. So we're saying Chicago in Vegas. All right. Let's skip to. We'll come back to one that I think is probably quite possibly the matchup of the week to watch. Let's start with the Jets in Miami. This is 2-0-3 teams. Do they tie?
0-0 game. Uh, I got a question for you. What's the lowest scoring game in NFL history?
Probably 3-0 or 3-2 or 2-0. 0-0.
1-0. It's the lowest scoring game in NFL history.
How does that happen?
So this is when there was like 16 teams in the NFL before the merger, like long, long time ago. And I think it was, I don't remember what, the Chicago Bears was one of the teams. And this is when they had like 15 players and you played both sides and you wore a leather helmet. And the other team got the flu. So they forfeited and they wrote in the scorecard 1-0. And so it became it's like in the official record books as the lowest scoring NFL game that will never be tied or because it was like not a real thing, but it
Yeah,
was written down in the scorebook, like in the official scorecard. Like hey, we won 9-3, we won 1-0 is what they wrote in because their
that's
team didn't show up
crazy.
because they were all sick.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna go half to nothing in this game. I
Yeah.
would say I think the Dolphins looked a lot better this past week, so I'd say the Dolphins.
Okay. I had just chosen the Jets, but it wasn't because I leaned one way, it was because I had to choose one and I didn't know.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the Dolphins. I think on paper that makes a lot of sense with who they have on their team too. Okay. Let's go to a quick matchup that I think is an easy picker, and then we'll end with one that I'm excited to watch.
Okay.
Cincinnati and Denver. I feel like it's got to be Denver.
I'd
Not
agree.
close. Okay. And then I think it's my matchup of the week, but I think there's a few good games. But Green Bay and Dallas, Micah Parsons back in Dallas.
Yeah, that's a big name. That's a big thing for sure. No CD Lamb, Micah Parsons revenge game. Packers just got embarrassed by the Browns. Give me Green Bay.
Yep, that's where I'm at. And you know me, I've been choosing Green Bay all year. But what were you gonna say?
Are you still as big of a believer? Are your two favorite teams in the NFL still the Packers and the Giants?
Not my two favorite teams, but the teams that I just seem to keep picking every week. I think the Packers was interesting last week against the Browns. Did you see the report that came out that's saying that they're investigating that game?
No.
And
What do they say?
I can't tell if it's fake or if this is real, but essentially they're saying there was the most bets ever for the Packers to win, and like there was a few plays that it seemed like they were trying to lose the game on purpose. And I don't know why that gets investigated or what that does for the teams or the league. I don't know. But it's weird that I saw an article that said that it was being investigated. And then I saw a comment that was hilarious. It was like the one time the Browns get a good win on a team and people think it's rigged.
Federal investigators are investigating a potential match fixing by the Packers, and the NFL is cooperating with them.
It's wild.
Wow.
I've never
That
seen
would
that before.
be How would that affect how much you like the NFL if you found out that the games were fixed?
Oh wow. You're asking me that question?
Yeah,
That would change everything.
yeah, I would agree. That would be
It'd be like
very, very
WW
bad.
be like WWE, which no offense, like some people love that. That's entertainment. It's fun. You know what you're getting. But with the NFL, it feels like we've
Any
just
given
been lied
Sunday
to.
is their motto, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, any last things before we sign off and go to bed?
I don't think so. I think we touched on all the matchups. I'm excited to a few weeks from now look at our teams and talk about how we're doing. And the fun thing, I think my favorite thing in fantasy is after a few weeks in, you look at all of your teams, like my sleeper teams. When I look at them, I can see my record, all on one page, and there's
Hmm.
surprises. Like teams that I thought like were going to be my worst teams this year are now 2-1, and teams that I
Hmm.
thought were going to be really good are now 1-2. And so fantasy is wild
Any given Sunday.
any given Sunday. Oh, I put out a bat signal in one of my leagues that I need a QB, and someone just said Danny Dimes is available. Might have to go get him. Oh, he sent me Daniel Jones, and he's giving me a first next year plus Daniel Jones for a Marion Hampton. Do I take it?
No,
That's a tough
you
one
can counter. You can counter.
because a first
Is
sounds
that the
nice.
league? Is that the league that you're on the come up, but your only quarterback is Cam Ward and Carson Wentz? Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
All
All
right,
right. Well,
sir.
I guess I'll see you in a Titans jersey next week because you chose the Chargers over the Giants. Just remember that.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Take care, man.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening and continuing to share. Sorry this episode came out a little later this week.
Yep. Thank you all.